Hello, everyone. Thanks again for joining our next virtual Creek Show Artist Talk. Today, I'm really excited to be chatting with Daniel Woodroffe of DWG about his Creek Show 2017 installation, Night Garden. Hey, Daniel, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. I see we're matching. We're repping
Just
our,
about.
our Creek Monster tees.
That's right. Creek Show 17.
All right, let's get started. So this is Night Garden. If you want to tell me a little bit about yourself and your experience with Creek Show 2017.
Yeah. So I'm Daniel Woodroffe, president and founder of DWG. We're a local landscape architectural practice here in Austin. And not only are we exceptionally proud to also be the local landscape architect for the Waterloo Greenway, we're also celebrating 10 years and 10 years of trying to really elicit profound change in the kind of the urban architectural landscape. So really excited to have had this opportunity and continue to see the transformation on the creek.
Absolutely. So I know, the design and installation process is always really unique with all of the artist teams that are involved in Creek Show. So tell me about your experience. Was there anything that you would have done differently looking back, or any kind of challenges that you might have faced while you were putting this together?
Yeah, I mean, for us, this was an ability to kind of have a tactical insertion onto the creek that was 8 years in the making. I think having seen the initial conversations about transformation, having seen the design competition and the process moving forward, it was really exciting to be able to submit an application and to win a commission to install. To see people's kind of sense of revelry and fascination with suddenly seeing the creek in a different way was truly amazing, and seeing the true degree. I mean, tens of thousands of people seeing Creek Show in 2017. It very much took a village, and we had an army of DWGers helping to install this, and I think we tried and succeeded to plant 80,000 pink construction flags, and this kind of sense of the construction flag being an agent of change. You see these things and it's like something's happening. We wanted it to be something really profound and big is going to happen. And it is happening at Waterloo Park and along other portions of the creek. But there were lots of blisters by the end of it. Each one of those flags had to be individually placed, and I will attest that it took a lot of tender love and care to exactly lay those things out on a grid-ish, but it was well worth it. And to see how people are now continue to talk about Creek Show and the spectacles, and I think the pink flags left a lasting impression, even if it did slightly burn your retinas.
I know looking at these photos now, if I kind of look away, I'm seeing like green. So
yeah, I couldn't find a hot pink T-shirt to wear today, but I would have if I did.
Here's another great photo. So we're really excited to hopefully bring Creek Show back in 2021. So do you have any advice for future Creek Show teams that are, interested in submitting an idea for Creek Show?
Yeah, there was a lot of lessons learned of dealing in an active creek in an urban context, and I think some of the really critical lessons learned that we had were understand how your idea, however dynamic that idea is, actually scales into real space and then gets implemented. I think we certainly learned that going big isn't always better. But if you do go big, it has to be from edge to edge, and you have to kind of complete your vision. 80,000 flags was no small feat, but we had to think very carefully about how that is actually implemented on the ground with change of landform, and really look at our site very, very carefully and understand how we actually implement it. It was really important to establish early on power. Lighting is a critical piece of this, and contrary to popular belief, there isn't an easy receptacle every 30 feet along Waller Creek today. And so talking to adjacent property owners, talking to, in our instance, the police department about utilizing power on their property, and really leveraging the relationships that the Conservancy has created with the partners along Red River and the surrounding areas was really, really critical. And I think then, I mean, the last kind of, advice is manage time. These installations, small or large, take a huge amount of effort to actually install and implement, and it will always take double the amount of time that you think it's going to take, for a variety of reasons, of just maybe volunteers, or the soil is solid as a rock because it hasn't rained in 3 months, and you're trying to stick these little stakes in the ground, and it took time, but it was worth it. I would also say, I mean, a piece of advice, and maybe this is just a personal kind of aspiration, but how you upcycle your installation so that it's not an installation that is then kind of disposed of or stuffed in a closet, I think is something that was really keen to us. The 80,000 flags in our instance were actually then given to tree folks, and they've used those flags to plant upwards of already 60,000 trees, and their commitment is to keep using those flags over and over again. And so it was really important, I think, for us and for the ethos of what Waller Creek and the Water Greenway represents, is to kind of have this sense of greater responsibility and kind of ethicalness about upcycling and zero waste, and being really responsible. So that was a big thing for us, and I think something that we really wanted to promote in the story of what the Greenway is going to transform into.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that the flags didn't just get tossed. That's awesome that you all donated them to tree folks.
Well, and the blisters only took about 6 months to go away on our thumbs and fingers. So no, I mean, when you can simply kind of give those things off to someone else, and the sense of, oh wow, there's no cost for this, so we can reuse them. I think the message is how do we continue to enhance the landscape, and I wish I could rattle off the top of my head how many trees are actually getting planted in the entirety of the Waterloo Greenway. I don't think it'll quite be 80,000, but it would be amazing if it was exactly 80,000, and we'll be able to say that this was kind of a catalyst for that change.
Yeah, there's definitely hundreds and just thousands of plants coming into Waterloo Park. It's really amazing to see that progress, and the park just turn green. It's really amazing.
That's the understatement of the year for sure.
Yeah. So looking at this photo, and I know you mentioned before, just thousands of people, walking through this area of Waller Creek, and for a lot of people, they're experiencing Waller Creek for the first time. What do you hope the community took away from experiencing Night Garden?
The creek monster is real. No, I mean I have to give a big plug to Ingrid for the original prototype. I think he's up there, and then the babies that all happened as a result of that. You know, the simple sense of in the instance of the stuffies that are around me in this shot, the sense of wonder and revelry of a stuffy to a young child. I think Creekshow represented that sense of wonder and revelry for all of us, and revealing the creek in a really magical way. And for some or many people, a space that is not they're not accustomed to being in on a frequent basis. And I think kind of revealing that and seeing quite how beautiful some of the spaces can be today, pre-transformation. It was really, really special. And the sense that, you know, the aspect about open space and importance and access to nature is obviously, with COVID, this kind of conversation that's becoming more and more important about being outside and being socially distant. And when you think about Waterloo Greenway being this absolute jewel that braids its way through downtown from UT down to the lake, is rare indeed. And so I think when things like Creekshow and Night Garden can allow tens of thousands of people, when we're all allowed to gather again, to kind of gather and celebrate en masse, it was really special, and I think something that was very profound for us, and I like to think is very profound for everybody that's experienced Creekshow.
Definitely. Yeah, I think I have, here's another great photo of the installation, flag planting.
Yeah, with Lauren very artistically posed. No, it was difficult to comprehend the density when we were mapping this out, and I remember Kevin kind of presenting the final renders, and the renders were not as powerful as the finished product, and I think it really took our breath away in terms of when those black lights first came on that first night, even before Creekshow officially opened. We were like, holy cow, this is awesome, you know. And we had a site that had a ton of topography on it, and yeah, it was a really special moment.
Yeah, and this came up during one of the previous artist talks, but you know, this installation during the day was also a sight to see. So that it's just kind of interesting how it, you know, the daytime experience, you know, versus the nighttime experience which is just as magical. Just really, really cool.
Yeah, I was convinced that Southwest Airlines redirected their planes because you could see it almost from space. But yeah, it was hot pink was definitely vivid, and I think something that it was definitely the right color. I mean, it caught your eye, it grabbed you, and the number of folks that have gone to our website and they were like, "Oh, the pink flags people," you know. It's like, we do so much more, but it really did have this profound, lasting effect, and was wonderful.
That's awesome. Here's another great photo and a really cool aerial shot, just people walking through.
Yeah.
So, do you have any other final thoughts or stories you'd like to share before we wrap up?
Yeah, I think for us, I mean, Creekshow has always been that those kind of real spikes of interest of the people of Austin, seeing and understanding the capacity and propensity for change that the Waterloo Greenway can and is having, and to have listened to the original conversations about relocating boathouses to the capacity of conservancy and this kind of agent of change, and really excellence in everything that occurs. This kind of profound community gift, and how we've seen it from the process of a permit to planting these flags of change, and then now having, I mean, Cassie and Kyle and Eric and Claire being on site almost every day, seeing tens of thousands of plants being installed at Waterloo Park, and the transplant trees and the lawn and the lighting of the pavilion. I mean, it's that kind of goosebump moment that this is really happening, you know, that this is a profound paradigm shift for Austin. And so, you know, I think the sense of celebration for us is, well, we can't do Creek Show now. You know, there is this sense of Waterloo Park is a massive, you know, 80,000 thumbs up in terms of what the best really is yet to come.
Yes, we're so excited. And you know, just thinking about what you said earlier about the renderings of Night Garden compared to in seeing it in real life, I feel the same at Waterloo Park. It's just a whole other experience when you're walking through there.
Oh,
Really?
it's magical. I mean, the sense of grading, the sense of sequence and emotion and immersion that you have in the upland areas and the play areas. I mean, and when you kind of then finally see the pavilion and the roof terraces, and the list goes on and on and on. It's just
Yeah,
it's just cool, you
it's
know.
so cool.
Yeah.
All
So
right. Well, thank you so much, Daniel, for taking the time to chat with us today. Really
no,
awesome to look back on Night Garden.
thank you for this opportunity. It was such an honor to be involved back in 2017, and it's exciting to see that the pink flags live on. So thank you.
Yes, thanks again. And thank you all so much again for tuning in. Be sure to tune in to our final virtual artist talk tomorrow afternoon. And don't forget to check out the Illuminated Moody Amphitheater at Waterloo Park through this Sunday, November 22nd from 6 to 10 p.m. every night. While this year's Creek Show is not taking place in its traditional in-person format, we're really excited to invite the community to drive along Red River Street and get a sneak peek at Waterloo Park and the incredible progress. And so with that, I just want to do a quick thanks to our sponsors, BBVA, 3M, The Word Company, and Waterloo Media. Thank you all so much again for watching. And you can learn more about all of our Creek Show activities at creekshow.com. Thanks, y'all. Thanks, Daniel.
Thanks.